Okay, so just a second, we're gonna record. So good evening, welcome to another lecture of the Middle East Center series. My name is Tom Wegner, and I host a series of conversations with people who are reshaping the Middle East. My guest today is Gלית, born in Morocco, raised in France, and now Israeli. Gלית weaves her rich cultural heritage into music that celebrates brotherhood, tolerance, and coexistence. Her album Mosaic is a powerful tribute to unity through diversity. Gלית believes deeply in music's ability to connect hearts across borders. Offstage, she's a proud Moroccan Jewish mother of four and the wife of French-Israeli tech entrepreneur Jean-David Benichou. Together, they co-founded Abramundi.media, a platform that shines a light on the positive energy of the Middle East and Northern Africa through stories of entrepreneurship, culture, and shared traditions, with a vision of lasting understanding and regional prosperity. Gלית, it's a pleasure to have you here with us tonight. Could you please start by telling us about your personal journey?
First of all, I'm very happy and honored to be here, and thank you for inviting me. So to present myself, I'm Gלית. I'm 51 years old. I live in Paris, France. I was born in Morocco. I grew up there until my 12 years old, and we moved to France with my parents to Paris. And I studied there international business and languages at La Sorbonne. And then I got married with my husband, Jean-David Benichou, who is a French and Israeli tech entrepreneur. And together we have 4 kids, and we live between France, London, and Israel. And we are Israeli now. So until my 40s, I focused on raising my children, and I worked in a digital marketing company. Singing has always been a passion for me, and I finally had the opportunity to record an album in Israel while I was there, and I met with an extraordinary musician, talented musician called Eldad Zitrin, and together and with my husband, we created an album called Mosaic, in which I sing in 6 languages, and that I speak 6 languages also. So through this album, I wanted to share my roots, both Jewish and Arab. I wanted to express my multiple identities and show that I embrace my origins, that I'm proud of them, and that I want to celebrate them loudly and clearly. These roots come with values that are very, very important for me, and that I try to pass on to my children and to express through my music. I've performed in Israel and Paris, and then everything stops because of COVID. And right after the signing of the Abraham Accords, my husband and I decided to co-found Aברמונדי. So I'm gonna explain what is Abrahmóndi. So Abrahmóndi is a nonprofit organization that my husband and I co-founded in 2022, shortly after the signing of the Abraham Accords. The idea came from observation that the Middle East is often seen as a region of war and conflicts, and we wanted to show that there was another reality, that the region is growing rapidly with great potential in technology, as demonstrated by countries like the UAE and Israel, the startup nation. It's also a region of significant scientific achievements and possesses a rich cultural and historical heritage. So we wanted to create a platform, which is now more of a web media, to showcase all these positive aspects and to reveal the true diversity and dynamism of this region to the world. We wanted to highlight stories of people with different origins and mixed cultures who use their mosaic identities to promote coexistence and dialogue between the peoples that are the descendants of Abraham. We wanted to share their common values and help spread this Abrahamic vision in the MENA region and also in the Western countries. So we started by bringing together a team of young people from a wide range of backgrounds to help us write articles, record podcasts, and conduct interviews. We wanted to give a voice to the individuals that work a lot for coexistence and dialogue in this region. Our goal was to reach the younger generation who mostly get their information through social media. And by involving young contributors, they could relate and connect with them. We wanted to challenge their common stereotypes about the MENA region. So our team of contributors, like I said, are young and write about topics that matter to them in relation to the region, whether it's Iran, Lebanon, Israel, Morocco, and beyond. Many of our contributors either come from these countries or live there. The three monotheistic religions are represented in our team. There are Jews, Muslims, and Christians. One of them is actually the executive director of Abrahmondí. We make it a point to cover the entire MENA region in order to share a broad understanding of the area. The topics we cover often include interfaith and intercultural dialogue, business collaborations, and economic development, particularly in the tech industry, scientific research, and advancements in sustainable development. We highlight any of all forms of progress that promote dialogue and coexistence among the descendants of Abraham. But beyond that, we also want to showcase the richness of the culture and the arts throughout the region. We pay special attention to the role of women in these societies, how they are asserting themselves and making strides in the Middle East. One of our key goals is to break the stereotypes so often perpetuated by traditional media when it comes to these subjects. So as I said, we want to share only positive and inspiring news and stories that can encourage grassroots initiatives across the civil societies. We want to show people that these efforts already exist. These initiatives already are here, that real change is already happening, and to inspire them to take action in their own communities. Because we think that the more individuals from civil society speak out, promoting coexistence, sharing personal stories, and recounting their experiences of collaboration, whether in business or other areas, with people from different religions and cultures, the more the Abrahamic vision as an identity will take root. Little by little, it will become part of everyday life for the people of this region. And at the same time, the more stories we share, the more we can also challenge and shift the misconceptions that still persist in the Western world. Too often, this region is only associated with war, conflicts, and despair, portrayed as a place where people die every day, where religion has brainwashed the population, where education seems hopeless, and where destruction is inevitable. We want to help change the narrative. We aim to show that this part of the world holds great promise for the future. If we plant today seeds of hope, of positivity, of unity, and of prosperity, we will begin to see the fruits of those efforts grow day by day until the region reclaims the brilliance that it had in the past when it was the fertile crescent of the world.
So basically, we're in a channel that speaks mostly to Israelis, and we're two Jews speaking over here about the idea of a new Middle East. But what kind of reactions do you receive from the Arab or the Muslim side? Because obviously what you're doing, and specifically we discuss now Abrahmondí, and we will also discuss your musical career, which is separated. But when you interact with the Muslim world, with the Arab partners, contributors, maybe business partners or advertisers regarding regarding Abrahmondí platform, how do they react to your
Very positively. Very positively. They are, I will take the words they say, they are eager for that. They want to hear that more and more. They want to take part of this mutual action. Of course, I'm not talking about everyone, but most of them are really happy to see that some initiatives like ours are coming.
So basically, the unique part about your initiative is that it portrays the shape of the new Abrahamism or the new Abrahamic identity that is, for most people, we're speaking about science fiction here, because there's not Abrahamic identity yet, or maybe there is, but it's something that is still in the shades, and we're speaking in the middle of a war. I for myself spoke a lot about the shape, the birth of Abrahamism. So I know there's a lot to cover, and there are many news to bring to the world. But how do people react? I mean, it sounds because to some people, when you speak about the new Middle East in the middle of the war, it could sound like you're speaking about aliens, UFOs, other topics that seems
not
to
at all.
people unrealistic.
People want to hear about that. If we talk about Abrahamic identity, it's not new. It's way back in the past. I mean, it's in the biblical era. We are the descendants of the same ancestor, Abraham. We are values in common. We share values in common. We just have to remember who we are coming from. We were together. We were in the same Abrahamic family, and we still are. We just need to make people remember that. It's the only thing that we are doing here. We want people to remember their roots. We have the same patriarch. The three monotheistic religions come from this man, and all the vision and all the values that are coming from him are the same in the three monotheistic religions. We need to focus on that. We need to focus on what we have in common rather than what divides us. If we achieve that, we will be able to talk to one another, to understand one another, to create and to build something for the future. I mean, all the MENA region is now in a difficult moment and situation. But if we talk to everyone of each person that are living there, they will all tell you, we want this to end. We want peace. We want to live in peace. We want to stay alive and we want to live in peace. And how do we achieve that? We achieve that by knowing each other, by sitting one with another, by eating a meal together. We have to understand each other. We have to speak out. We have to tell what we think. And this, we are trying to make it with Abrahmondí, with making it a reality that can be achieved. We are showing what is already happening in the Middle East. What are all the little initiatives that all the individuals are doing day by day, small or a little more, a little bigger? We are showing this. We are showing what happens in this region. And the more we show, the more it becomes a reality for all the world. And the more people will understand that if they want to have a shared prosperity in this region, all the countries have to work together, hand in hand. I mean, all the progress, all the things that we achieve in one country can benefit to another if just we can talk to each other.
So please tell us a story, for example, to understand what we achieve when we talk to each other. Can you please share a moment or a story where you...
Well, I will share my experience in the music. I mean, when I sing in Arabic in front of an Israeli crowd that is happy to hear Arabic, because a lot of Israelis have Arabic and roots, so they understand, they feel it with their heart. And what I'm doing with my music is to touch the heart, to touch the soul, and to express feelings by the music. It's the best way to build bridges. I don't know any other example more relevant than this one. Music is the best way to build bridges between people.
So that's you described the bridge between languages. But what about the other side of the bridge? What kind of reactions do you receive music-wise from the Muslim side or the Arab side in Morocco, in other places?
Well, in Morocco, it's very positive. There always have been a peaceful climate between Jews and Arabs. I mean, I was living in Morocco and we were living all together. We were speaking Arabic and French, and it was never a problem. It was never a problem. And I still speak Arabic now in France and in Israel when I'm there, because Arabic is part of my identity. Like I said, I consider myself Jew and Arab. We call that Judeo-Arab. And I'm very proud of that. And I don't want to hide it. It's my identity, and I firmly advocate for my identity. I want it to be the bridge. I want it to be the language, the one that will bring. I'm not talking about peace right now. It's a too big world. I want to talk about
Dialogue.
Yes, dialogue.
So when you talk about dialogue in such a rough times, and you basically Abrahmondí as a media outlet or a news website is trying to create an atmosphere of good news or a friendly climate.
Exactly.
It sounds similar to the way you described Morocco, a place that has a friendly climate. So you're trying to take the inspiration of Morocco as somewhere who has, it's a place that just have a basic climate of friendship and cooperation, and to extend this spirit through the internet to the entire Middle East.
Well, it's funny because I never thought about it, but yes, we can say that. Yeah, we can say that. That is exactly what we want to do. We are really fed up with all the bad news that are in all the traditional medias. We wanted to have, you know, a space of good and inspiring news that can encourage people to look at this region differently and to begin to think that the future is there. The future is there. Those countries are changing very, very rapidly, and we need to focus on what we have in common if we want this region to emphasize.
So when we speak about other countries, and I think that you directly or indirectly you are engaged with other countries because your contributors comes from different countries, and probably your readership is coming from different countries, and they comment and you hear from them and they're engaged. So what do you hear from them about your vision and about their expectations from Israel or from a new Middle East, or maybe even from other Arab countries?
First of all, I want to say that in our team we have a French and Iranian guy that is contributing into our articles and into our podcast and everything. And his vision is really helpful to us because he and his family came from Iran, and they are here, and it's difficult for them to speak out. So to take part in Abrahmondí helps him take action for his community and speak out and tells what's happening in Iran. And I think he's proud of it because he's young and he has a purpose. You know, it's not only a job; it's a purpose, and it's very important for these young people. Also, the Christian that I said is our executive director. She's very much open to the interfaith dialogue and talks about a lot, and it's very inspiring to have those people with us because each of them brings its identity, its storytelling, its experience, and its dreams to our narrative, and it's very important to have that.
So you want to cover the news of the emerging Middle East, of the new Middle East, the optimistic news, the news of the cooperation, of the Abrahamic hope, etc. But on the other hand, we know that in our reality for the last year and a half or so, many projects that many hopes were lowered, so to speak. Many projects that were Abrahamic projects or shared project between Jews and Arabs and Israel and Arabic state were frozen or terminated. If you look about what happened with the Turkey, for example, we went formally backwards, and we also with the other Muslim nations. Do you have, even in this situation, do you have enough good news to cover to fill a media outlet? I'm asking because I think it's an important question for people that want to understand if they should be optimistic or pessimistic.
There are a lot. There are a lot in the UAE with Dubai. There are a lot in Oman. There are a lot in Morocco, in the tech industry, in the scientific research, in culture. I mean, I had a podcast with a woman called Laure d'Hauteville, who is the woman that created the Menart Fair, which is the art fair in the MENA region in Lebanon, and it's one of the most important fairs in the MENA region. And it's amazing to see all those initiatives. It's amazing to see how people highlight in culture, in science, in tech, in business-wise, all the collaboration that are occurring until today. So we want to show that, and we won't stop. We'll try to find any of the tiny stories that exist to continue our path.
So you gave an example about Lebanon. I guess that they didn't had the opportunity to host Israeli creators in their art exhibition.
Yes, they have.
They did?
Israeli,
Please
and
tell us about it.
I don't remember exactly the names, but she told me that she could put the works of an Israeli and of a Palestinian all together, and they gathered and they spoke to each other and they worked with each other. So it's an example, but there are many.
Yeah, so it's a good example. And those are stories that we usually don't hear in the media, or in the Western media, or in the Israeli media, or in the Arab media.
Arab world, yes.
Are you angry with them?
Are you what? Sorry, I didn't understand.
Are you angry about them? Are you angry about
the media that doesn't talk about it? I'm not angry. I think there was a space to do that, and we took it. I'm not angry. We just made this observation, and we wanted to change that. So we did, and we hope to continue along.
To create a Middle Eastern media outlet of good news, and to copy the climate of friendship from Morocco to the entire Middle East through it.
Yes, why not?
So you think that you have a sense that you're building a community through it? I mean, except from the people who contribute readership, do people interact? Do you see any growth, or do you have only the agenda of continue to provide the news?
No, we really have good feedback. For example, I made a video to present myself on our social media, and I said in this short video, an Instagram video, that what my roots are. I come from Morocco, and I'm Israeli, and so on. And I said that I consider myself both Jew and Arab. And of course, there were many people that told me in messages, bravo, it's great what you're doing. You're claiming your identity. It's good. Thank you for doing this. We need that. It's very important in these moments to show that some people like you are doing things. And I presented Abrahmondí. So it's a long path, but it's coming. And I really believe that it's the future.
You think that the heritage of Arab Jews or Mizrahi Jews is missing in the cultural dialogue or in the diplomatic dialogue until today?
It has to take a big part of it. It has to take a big part of it. I mean, if we want to make a connection with the Arab world, we need to remember, to make them remember our roots, our shared roots. It's very important. I think if we go back to our origins and our ancestor, we finally are the same. We have the same history. We are practically the same family. So if everyone is looking at the Middle East issue with an eye of an Abrahamic eye, it changes everything. I think we should build our narratives this way to achieve this goal.
I think that some of the people watching us have a lot of questions now about the term that you mentioned, Abrahamic eye, because this is really something that is still emerging, and most people are not even familiar with this state of mind or approach. So can you please describe what's the term Abrahamic eye or Abrahamic view or Abrahamic identity? What does it mean to you? How do you see it? Do you see it as something that will, because that's questions that people ask. Will it change my identity? Will I have to compromise to convert? Maybe to lose something for my faith or for my nationality? How do you see the Abrahamic identity?
First of all, there's nothing to lose or to change. Abrahamic identity, Abrahamic vision is that we all are, I'm talking about the three monotheistic religions. We all have the same patriarch, which is Abraham. We all descend from Abraham. And all the values we inherit from him are deeply rooted in each of the three monotheistic religions. It's the essence of the Abrahamic vision, and we have to develop it. If we want prosperity to be shared by all the people that are descendants of Abraham, we need to focus on our roots. I mean, the biblical roots of Abraham that made us the three parts of one big family, the Abrahamic family. And if we look at it, that is the eye, the Abrahamic eye, if we look at it in this way, it's much more easier to find what unites us and not to focus on what divides us. It's important. If you have a cousin, for example, that you haven't seen for a long time, it's still your cousin. You will be happy to welcome him to your house because it's your cousin. Even if you never heard about him, if you never met him, it's your cousin. It's a value of family, and we need to focus on that.
So when you speak about the Abrahamic view and the monotheistic religion, you're not necessarily suggesting that it's a religious issue. you're referring to an historical narrative and the familiar values, basically.
Exactly.
So what you're suggesting is that the Abrahamic view would be to view all the people in the Middle East as a family rather than just my side or the other side.
Yes, yes.
And
We might have different faith. We might have different habits and beliefs, but we still are the same family. We still have the same ancestors, and we still have the same values. That's what I'm saying.
so, but basically, since we are still people and we have emotional ties and heritage and identity, etc., people are coming from a starting point of looking at the situation either in a Jewish eye or a Muslim eye, which is basically a part of the problem. I think we agree on that. But I think that most of the people that are listening to us now would say, okay, but if I'm required to do some sort of effort, not really to lose something, but to change my perspective, to change my emotions. So we're dealing with an emotional issue over here. To start looking at things at an Abrahamic eye rather than a Jewish eye. What about the other side? Is the Muslim side willing to look at things from an Abrahamic eyes, or is it just Glit and other Jewish founders of Abrahmondí that are weaving us, and Tom with them, weaving
I really hope
for us?
so. I really hope so that Muslims would eventually think with the Abrahamic vision. As an example, we had a podcast with Dalia Ziada. I don't know if you know her, which is an Egyptian woman who became one of the strongest voice for peace, dialogue, and democracy in the Middle East. And she had exactly the same words that I just told you, the exactly same words, and you can hear it on our Abra Talks podcast. It's a Muslim woman, and she has exactly the same vision as ours. So yes, it can happen.
So maybe in the future, the same way we refer or used to refer to Europe as the Christians, even that, there are some Protestants and Catholic, and they were fighting with each other for many years about one side being Protestant and the other was Catholic. Maybe you're suggesting that in the future, this area could be perceived as an Abrahamic area with Jews and Muslims, but an Abrahamic title.
That's a dream. That's a great dream.
Okay.
That I want to see happening.
So let's speak a bit about first of all about the unique ties between Morocco and Israel and the Jewish Moroccan community, because I think that you're referring, and I think that it's interesting and should be discussed. You're referring to the place of the Arab Jews or Mizrahi Jews in the dialogue, in the regional dialogue, as a potential bridge that is not, I would say, not developed enough today. Okay. And in Morocco, we see that we have a very big Jewish community, unlike Bahrain or the Emirates, with a lot of many centuries of shared traditions. But many Israelis, sorry, after October 7th, saw the large demonstrations in Morocco
Yes.
that were
Unfortunately.
Yes, that were rooting for Hamas and against Israel, and some used very, very harsh rhetorics. And I should add that the Amsterdam events where Maccabi Tel Aviv fans were attacked severely by Muslims who were ignited mostly by Moroccans, so that's what they say anyway. And I think that many Israelis came to this conclusion or awareness that we lost Morocco, and they fear to go to Morocco, and they feel like Morocco has turned against Israel, and the Moroccans now hate Israel. What kind of image do you receive from your end about this issue?
I don't know what credit I should give to this information, because I experienced, I traveled to Morocco 2 months ago, just before Pesach, and we were in a group of Israeli going to Morocco to visit tzaddikim. So yeah, and there were so many Israelis, Moroccan rooted Israelis, that I was shocked. It was unbelievable. It was incredible. So I don't know what credit to take to give to the fact that some Israeli think that Morocco is over and we don't have to go there. I don't think so. I don't think so. Around me, a lot of Moroccan Jews still go to Morocco, still go for Pesach to Morocco, and they don't fear anything, and nothing happens. And I went there and I saw by my eyes that we are welcome. We are, Moroccan Jew is something really, really special. They still speak Arabic. They still eat Moroccan. They still sing in Moroccan. It's special. It's indescribable. So no, I didn't have this experience, but I can imagine that some of them are thinking like this, but really I've experienced it, and there's nothing like the relations between a Jew and Arab in Morocco. Nothing like it.
So, what kind of responses were you receiving from the Moroccan side throughout the last year or so?
A lot of support, because I'm proud of my Moroccan roots, so I speak a lot about it, and they are proud of what I'm saying. They are proud of hearing that a Jew, French, and Israeli still advocate for her roots, her Moroccan roots. They're proud of it. So I only have positive feedbacks, really.
So this is a part about from what you said about the familiar approach or having a state of mind that is Abrahamic or Arab Jewish, and basically can live with both sides. But do you feel any difference between that and the reactions that you're getting from other Arab nations that are not Moroccan?
Of course, it's not the same. Of course, there is no community, Jewish community, ever that had such relations with Arabs. Well, not that I know. So there were Iraqi Jew, there were Iranian Jew, there were I don't know, Lebanese Jew, but this particular relationship between Jew and Arab in Morocco, there's not such as this one. in other Arab countries. So yes, the feedback is not so warm. It's not the same, but still, it represents hope. It represents a way out of this situation. I mean, it's like a light in the dark, far, far, far away, but it's a light.
We need more of those lights. So I think one of the most important points that you mentioned is the representation of Arab Jews in the dialogue sphere. And I think it's obvious and factual to say that in the last decades, Israel's foreign policy and diplomacy towards the Arab world was usually managed by ministers and professionals who were European Jews most of the times, definitely when it comes to leadership positions. And obviously, it's not only about language and culture and familiarity, but also about difference of mentality. If you were in charge of Israel's diplomacy towards the Arab world, what would you do different?
I will gather them to sing. That's what I'll do. That's my dream. I want to perform in Hebrew and Arabic and gather all the people together. This is what I'll be doing. Only that.
And what do you think? That's very interesting, actually, because I think I heard from many people on both sides about the power of the language. For example, I had it's a very interesting story actually from a Syrian friend of mine who grew up in a very anti-Semitic environment, and he was also very much anti-Semitic, and he was partying and celebrating when he heard that IDF soldiers were killed, etc. But then by occasion, he heard Hebrew, which is something that usually doesn't happen in the Arab world. Usually people in Syria won't be hearing Hebrew, but he did in some recording on something like that, and then he started thinking to himself, and he said, wait, I know this language, it sounds familiar, it's Semitic, it's from
That's what I
Hebrew.
was saying about Abrahamic roots. It's in the DNA. I mean, we cannot forget it. It's in our DNA. Our Abrahamic roots are inside of each one of us. And we just need to make the people remember that and recover that.
So what do you think that happens to an Arab crowd when you sing in Hebrew, or for an Hebrew-speaking crowd when you sing in Arabic if they don't know the language? Does it do something?
Well, first of all, like I said, my crowd is mostly Jew and Moroccan, so the mix of languages talk to them, speak to them. So it goes to their soul. So it's not a problem. If I will sing in a crowd of Muslims in Hebrew, I don't know what will be the reaction, but I really, really hope to have the same reaction. I really hope it.
Okay, so if we will try to look forward to the future of Abrahmondí, of your music career, of the region, of the good news that you're both working on creating and on covering and distributing to the world. What do you think is the future of the Middle East? Because usually I receive very different answers to these questions from people who are engaged with the other side, with building the new Middle East, from people who hear the news, so to speak.
It's, well, I represent myself the future of this region like it was for Europe after Second World War, and an agglomeration of nations around with different peoples and different religions that you know, that are in the same perspective. That's what I see.
An actual confederation or federation?
Yes, exactly. That was the word. A confederation of nations. Exactly.
So basically, again, to most of the people, it sounds like science fiction. But I think that it's obvious also that if someone would say the same thing about Europe in the 40s, it
Yes.
would also sound like
Yes.
science fiction.
There were enemies, there was a big war, a lot of death everywhere, and still Europe came.
But I think it's a good way to, it's a good place to go a bit deeper, because you know, many people that are familiar with the Middle East, with the conflict, etc., would now say, stop. Now you're being naive. Now you're being optimistic. Now you're being inaccurate or untrue, because the wars in Europe were between fascism and democracy, or between nations. And in the Middle East, we're talking about a religious war between Judaism and Islam. You, as someone who grew up as a Jew in a Muslim country, and
Yes.
still pretty much share your time with the Muslim world, how do you see it? Is it really a religious war, or can it be solved? Can the religious war be solved with an Abrahamic eye, and we can continue from there to building startup and creating commerce?
Look, I really believe it's the Abrahamic vision that will change everything. And if the different people of the different religions and origins would stay together and talk to one another and begin to understand one another, they will understand that to build a better future for their region, they have to build it all together. They cannot do this alone. They don't want to continue fighting and dying. This is not the future. This is not a future for them. I'm not talking about diplomatic or politics. I'm talking about the individuals of each one of these countries that only wants to live and only wants to develop themselves. So if they talk together and learn from one another of their experiences, of their achievements, of the progress that they did and everything, they will see with this Abrahamic eye a future for them, and a future of shared prosperity. And where there is prosperity, there can be calm. I'm not talking about peace. As I said, it's a big word now. Calm. Just calm. Just let people live as they want to live, with the religion they want to do, to be, and that's all. And if we think like that, maybe we can achieve something. I say something.
We're going to end with an interesting question, because basically you're a media outlet, a Middle Eastern media outlet, which is something that is not that common, I would say, and not at least not in a way that includes Israel. And you have reporters, journalists, contributors that are working for you, and this potentially is a risky situation, because I know about many occasions the journalists in Arab countries that were in contact in any shape, way, or form with Israelis were tried because they broke the anti-normalization laws. The Kuwaiti journalist Fajr al-Said was sentenced to 3 years in prison for having a connection to Israelis that was very friendly and random. My friend Maria Ma'aluf in Lebanon was tried for having connections to Israelis. So is it a problem for you? Is it a challenge?
It is. Of course it is. Of course.
So tell us a bit about it. How do you handle with it? Or do you have maybe people that won't work for you because of that, or will write anonymously, or how do you deal with this issue?
It didn't happen so far. All the persons we wanted them to contribute to our media did it very positively and without any restrictions. So I didn't experience that, but I can understand this can happen. But let's focus on who wants to do it with us, not on who doesn't want to. I mean, there are many peoples in this world. Some are for the unity, and some aren't. And I only focus with some that wants to do something, to act for change, to take part of this Abrahamic vision of this project. I mean, it all starts with a vision. If we tell ourselves, well, this is so difficult, we won't achieve, look at the situation, look at the journalists everywhere, look at the media, we won't do anything. We just stay and wait for nothing to happen. We have to do something, even if it's a little thing. We need to do it. It's an urgency. I mean, there's no option. There's no option.
And do you feel that you have enough Muslim counterparts on the side that is willing to do something with the hardships?
I do my best for it. I do my best for it, to feel it, to convince people, to speak out. It's important.
But do you have enough of positive reactions from the Muslim side to sustain it in cooperation?
I would say that I have enough to continue.
Okay, that's a good sign.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm very positive.
Obviously. We're trying to increase positivity over here.
Yes.
So in that spirit, thank you for your time. First of all, I think it was fascinating.
Thank you very much.
Do you have another message that you want to share with the viewers, or something that you think you should give them for the road?
Open your hearts. Just open your hearts. It's not a naive quote. It's a positive quote. We have to open our souls and open our hearts to make it happen.
And obviously it's happening.
Yeah, I hope so.
Okay, thank you, Galit. Have a great
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for having
I
me.
wish that all your wishes will come through and the region will be something completely different than its image today. We will all be the benefactors of that. Thank you so much.
Amen. Thank you very much. Bye.